Ladies and gentlemen, we've got breaking news. As it turns out, Giannis Antetokounmpo is ready to move on from the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know how, but I feel like I low-key called this in my vid from last week, and in more ways than one, which I'll get into in a moment, but I wasn't sure if we were ever going to see this, and I gotta believe that this wasn't a very easy decision for Giannis, especially given how rooted he's been with Milwaukee. His family's there. And of course, he's won two MVPs along with an NBA championship finals MVP with that. It it had to have been tough. It had to have been tough, but let's be honest here. The Bucks really ever since 2021 just have not necessarily amounted to much at all in comparison to what the Bucks were back in that year of 2021, where they came through from a 2-0 deficit to the Phoenix Suns and just rattled off four straight to win the NBA Finals. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't want it to stay two because there was definitely opportunities for them to make it work. I mean, hell, they brought in Damian Lillard and now they're dealing with a $20 million cap hit with Damian being released from the Bucks over the summer. I gotta say it's pretty wild to think about, but really and truly, this is honestly something that not only you got to behold, but it is going to be really interesting to see the offers that come across because Milwaukee has gone as far as saying that they're ready to listen to aggressive offers, but are also willing to wait until after the season, which is where Giannis would have more control of the deal. And I wouldn't have any problem with that in particular. But meantime and between time with the trade deadline within a couple of weeks from now, I feel like aggressive moves are going to be nothing but what you see in this situation. Now, you got teams like the Dallas Mavericks and even the Oklahoma City Thunder who obviously have pieces as well as assets that would certainly suit Milwaukee's needs, at least as far as what they're looking for is concerned. But really and truly, I want to talk about other teams that have been mentioned and teams that I've also talked about, which include the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, him and Wemby would be nonsense. Let's just be real about that. And then, of course, there's the Houston Rockets, which him and KD, even more nonsense, and they actually have assets as well, much like the Spurs. And of course, as I mentioned, there's the Dallas Mavericks. They could use Anthony Davis along with whatever number of picks they have to give up in the process, but they could make that happen, and that could be an almost win now situation right there, especially with Cooper Cup and the rest of the crew. I mean, how can you go wrong if you're the Dallas Mavericks? But more notably, there's also the New York Knicks, where there would probably be the straight up cap for Giannis with additional picks going to Milwaukee from New York. Or if you wanted to use other pieces to make the money work with the picks, that could also happen as well. And more than anything else, there's the Golden State Warriors who have been designated the actual favorite right now because they definitely have assets, namely Jonathan Kuminga and quite a few draft picks of their own. The only thing about it is that it was mentioned that Jimmy Butler could actually be included in that, and that's the one part that I disagree with the most. Because for me, if I'm Giannis, or at least if I'm Giannis personally, I'm not going to Golden State if Jimmy Butler's not there. Like, there's almost no point in that. I mean, depending on who and what else you could actually bring in. With that being the case, I don't know if you would wind up having to include Draymond Green to avoid that, along with Kaminga in those futures. But to me, Jimmy Butler, along with Steph Curry, are the two ideal reasons why you go to Golden State if you're Giannis Antetokounmpo. And this is where maybe waiting until the offseason benefits Giannis because he'll have more say so where that's concerned. And I think they'll have a little bit more means as far as making the money work. And again, there's the matter of the draft picks. But even with all of that said, it's really interesting to see all of this happening now, especially with it being within a couple of weeks of the trade deadline. So, yeah, as mentioned before, I think aggressive offers rather, are going to be par for the course over the next week and a half for less than a couple of weeks, however much it may be. But either way, yeah, I mean, it seemed as if Giannis was loyal to a fault, similar to a championship with two MVPs and a finals MVP. It'd be tough to say goodbye. I don't know if it was quite this tough for Lou Cinder, of course, as we know now to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but he had a similar situation back in the day where he ended up with the Lakers. The Lakers wind up making a move. Is this where they somehow actually trade LeBron James for Giannis Antetokounmpo? That would be nuts. I just thought about that. I mean, Giannis and Luca? Dude, like, I'm not sure how you're beating that over the next few years. That right there is probably as insane as even Giannis with Wemby, but man, like I said, I wasn't sure we were ever going to see this day. Giannis Antetokounmpo ready to move on from the Milwaukee Bucks, and they're listening to aggressive offers. Woo, boy, I can't wait to see how all of this unfolds. With all that said, that's all I got for right now. Let me know what y'all think down below. Who do you see him going to? How do you see it working? Y'all know the deal. And of course, like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Hit that notification bell for any upcoming vids. With that in mind, this has been your time with A&J, and I appreciate you spending it with me.